Hey Jaden, just want to make a quick video on the latest build, 236. I think it's the latest APK as of the 9th of November. I think we're really closing in on it. There's a couple little things that I see, but in general it's very good. Sounds are working. I am seeing the sound drop out again, kind of randomly, but this time when it drops out, it drops all the sound. Whereas before I used to just see the background would continue to play. Most of it's working really well. The main stuff. Okay, I see a little confusion sometimes on systems that look like this, that are real close to the ring. Sometimes are out of range, but I've just seen that. It looks like this isn't happening right this second, but little delay there. I don't know if that's because of the sound. Not a big deal, but yeah, I don't think it was there before. Okay, let's. One thing I do want to show you. Well, let me go in and set my options here. Test mode, because I don't want to play very long in the emulator. Let's see if I can show you this again. Nope. I see that you moved these apart a little bit and moved them. We could probably even move these further apart a little bit, and it might make it easier. I know that if you have, like on my screen, my device is actually pretty small, so the buttons, they are a little small. I mean, I can work it, but making these a little bit further apart might be an easier interface. Well, okay. So that's a bad string. I know why. That's kind of a little bug, display bug, where it. Oh, actually, that was sort of an interesting little bug that we saw right there. It displayed the warning. It should have gone into the plunder mode, but instead it looks like we just arrived and weren't able to plunder it. We didn't get any cargo. So that's one that's a little bit interesting. I've seen a few different behaviors on that. The dialog box problem seems to always be there, where you get that big dialog box with the OK, but then it immediately either gets covered up by the plunder screen, which we didn't see that time, or you exit the encounter into the system info screen. Anyway, the main thing is, and I haven't played around with this too much, but the load and save, seems to be working. One thing I want to show you here is if we go into retire, okay, so we've retired. And the interesting thing is, I think that just killed the sound. So I'm not hearing any background sound, or I've heard before in this build it's played that it plays a sound when you retire poorly. It didn't play that sound, so we just killed sound right there. I think this takes a little bit of time to reload everything. And I know you said it's taking some time to load those sounds. The high score just sort of flashes on and off. You probably know about that. But the main issue that I wanted to show you is kind of a residual of the state problem that we used to have. So I retired the pilot. What I wanted to do, and I know that the iPhone code doesn't exactly do this right now, but what I wanted to do before we release it is, if you retire or die, then I just wanted to erase all of the saved games. And that has to do with the game design that we, the game design issues and the playability of it that we've talked about before. But in this scenario that I'm showing you right here, this is an interesting thing. So on a side note, I would just like it to erase all of these, so that as soon as you die or retire, that's it. That character's done. But this is actually a bug that I'm going to show you that goes back to that state problem. If I close this, so I hit load game after I retired, if I close this, I'm back in the game again. So I don't know if it's automatically loading that game, the most recent game, or if this is back into sort of the state bug that we saw before. So that's something you might want to take a look at. But yeah, it's like in general, these are pretty small things. We could probably get away with releasing it. And so it looks like when it reloads all those sounds, they come back. So maybe that's not so bad. I'm gonna retire. Yeah, there, it looks like they're back. Escape pod installed. Okay, there's the fuel bug that I wanted to show you. It's just that this is very, like I said, very small problem. We could easily release with having very small problems like this and just update it. But if they're inside of the blue range circle, then they should be in range. Whereas that one is insufficient fuel. This one, which is really interesting, it's showing as in range, even though it looks further out of the range circle than this one. So something to take a look at. Again, it's minimal. Most of the functions are working great, and there's just a few little things. I need to redo that sound. So I'll do that. Anyway, that's what I wanted to show you, mainly the state thing, and just to say it's fine for them to save their game whenever they want. Let's see, is it fine? The main thing is if they, it's not a huge deal if they want to save their game, but if they die or retire, let's wipe the character completely out, and then just take a look at that state thing. And I'm pretty tired, so I'm gonna look at these strings a bit. I'm gonna go back and try and just see if we can just take them out of the iPhone code again and forget having 3 different copies of them. See if that helps. I haven't had time to just sit down for 3 or so hours and muscle through it yet, but I'm gonna take another look. But it's looking good. It's looking good overall. Thanks. If I can just shut this video down.